Okay, we have the Q&A for Soft Spot with the filmmaker Jerome Marshall. Good to meet you.
Good to meet you, ma'am.
Fantastic movie, I have to say.
Oh, thank you.
When I'm a fan of sci-fi, and
Hmm.
I love it when someone does what you did, which is just do it all with quality thinking, quality writing, and with zero special effects, a slight makeup
Yeah,
thing.
very,
You
very, very slight. Yeah.
you manage to have a solidly inventive and full. You do the world building. You actually build a world where this is happening, and it's all in the performance and the writing
Thanks,
and the
man.
way you shoot it. So, I mean, I always like that better than half-assed Hollywood sci-fi fare that's like just a standard cowboy movie in space, where there's a
Yeah.
sci-fi element to the story.
Well, what do they say? Like I mean, everybody's worked on a small budget before. It's kind of like the mother or necessity is the mother of invention or whatever. So it's like, yeah, and it's funny when I think back about it. It went through, I mean, they always do like a bajillion drafts, and I'm trying to remember how much footage I got. It was like a 14-page script, and then like I was like, and I literally I explained everything, and then by the time I went through enough cuts, I was like, this is all. I didn't need any of it. So what was originally an 18-minute short film, 100% unjustifiably, uh, like got cut down. And I think that I'm pretty proud of where it came out because, like you said, like it's just it's the vibe where like you get it without showing. And I wish I could say that I'd had the brains to like not want to show while shooting. I think that would have made my life a lot easier. But you know, uh, the wisdom caught up in the edit, at least as far as like letting the audience do a bit more work.
Well, and that's great filmmaking because recognizing what your story needs. You didn't fall in love with the smell of your own. You brought out the best. That's a fascinating story actually, because man, I mean, even at the short, I mean, I watch hundreds of shorts a year with these festivals, and it's amazing to me how often a short film is too long. Like,
That one of my biggest like paranoias going in. Like I feel bad for my girlfriend because I must have brought her in a bajillion times and be like, literally, if there's like a moment you think that I don't need, like, let me know, because I was just like cutting and cutting and cutting because I feel the same way about screenwriting too. Is like I like reading and I like writing, but I always feel like there's this weird sort of, and I could absolutely be projecting here, but there's like this weird sort of pain thing. Like you're kind of, it's like notes are hard. Giving notes, especially like if it's like something that needs it a lot, uh, is hard. So like I try to, when I make things, when I write things, I always try to like make it as painless as possible for the person viewing, if that makes sense. Like I really, 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 really try to, and again, like it's not perfect, but I really work hard. That's one of the big things I focus on is there a pain that I can save people from feeling, or like a bad kind of pain where it's like, oh, this scene adds nothing or this shot adds nothing. Like that's something that's constantly just like looping through my head.
well, it's great you're aware of that, but still, this film has three-act structure. It has a introduction, and then I really love your second act with, talk about, the effect of her writing on his back.
Hmm.
I think that's like super engaging. And and then you hit us with this completely surprise third act where he's kind of, I mean, it's kind of a suicide story.
Yeah, yeah, and which can, it's tough as far as like the whole short film thing because I know a lot of them end in death or suicide, but um it's like we were talking about with the sci-fi stuff. Is I liked what I wanted to do was I wanted to tell, like, because typically I don't know how you feel about the whole woman being in danger thing. Kind of is, I don't know. I don't feel great about it, and I think it's been done so much. So I kind of wanted to tell, like, there's two parasites really in the story, because he's not he's not doing great, and it doesn't, he's kind of like desperate to cling on. And so I wanted to, I guess, like explore that kind of relationship, both literally and metaphorical. Metaphorical, that kind of sounds lame, but yeah, I guess like that's, I actually just completely lost my train of thought. That's a
Well,
better.
I'll say you may feel uncomfortable talking about the metaphorical, but I mean, besides
Yeah,
it being sci-fi, I mean, there's really good metaphor. There's really your film is actually a really, I mean, I bet given the time and given a nice, 65 person audience, we could talk the hell out of this movie. And there's
yeah,
metaphors for what he's doing is kind of submitting to a long-term commitment even. I mean,
yeah.
your film completely works. So you just be proud.
Thank,
Just be
thank
proud.
you so much. The amount of, I mean, that we all go through with the insecurity of making something. So that's real. That's really great to hear. Really great to hear.
Yeah, and I mean it's so I guess I should ask the obvious questions. I mean, people always ask, I never let anyone in a Sherman Oaks audience ask budget, but they so I always cut up. Someone goes, "How much did you spend?" I always go, "No, we don't ask that here."
Mm.
But we do let. So like, how long was principal photography? It sounds like you have a long post period too.
Yes, yeah, yeah. So I'm trying to, if I could give context to, because I had a, so technically I think this is probably my third or fourth short, but to a quick aside, my first one was I went, for lack of a better term, balls out. I spent a bunch of my own money. I spent around like upwards of $6,000 that I had saved, and shot on location, and I even with shorts, I was like prioritize, like if anybody's showing up, I compensate for their time, not, I think that's all really important, especially in shorts. But obviously you can't pay full rates and that kind of stuff. But so I did all that. And then the first one was just kind of dead in the water due to some classic sound issues. Like only 25% of sound was gotten on the day apparently, and it was uh, you know, I didn't realize it until too late, which is one of the worst feelings ever. So going into this one, I pared down like everything as possible. I was like, well, you can do an apartment short. So like I kind of concept the idea around what I could do visually interesting within an apartment that everybody's seen before, why there wouldn't be any furniture, that kind of stuff. And then I kept the budget as small as possible. So I was probably around $2,000, which is, and then I had and I was lucky enough for this one for my brother and co-producer to help me with financing on this one. So, but by God, it was after that first stumble, I was nailed in on this one. Really, really dialed in.
So did you shoot it in a couple days? Did you?
Oh, yes. Okay. Sorry about, I lost track there. So yeah. So what I did, I had 2 shoot days, really 1.5. Kind of got everything that was. I'm pretty good. I'm pretty good, solid friends with the male talent, Grayson, and so he was willing or he was willing and available more. So I kind of got everything that was all his solo stuff. And he sort of picked up any kind of ideas that we had in the day. And then I was actually like, I think now, and this is a luxury, probably I won't be able to afford, but the being able to break it into a day and a half, where I probably could have all gotten it done in one day. But doing that, like the breathing time, like day to day, like let me think of like how I can like pick up stuff I didn't realize the next day, like dialogue tweaks, like nothing crazy, but it was just like that breathing room that was everything. Like I'd recommend to anyone shooting that if you can afford yourself a little extra time, take it. Because
Yeah, well, and you were making a much longer short, right?
yeah,
You had a lot of pages, so I
yeah,
imagine those were some busy days, even in an empty apartment.
Yeah, well, and it's also worth noting, it was during a July heat wave. And we couldn't, obviously you have to turn off all the AC in the apartment because you can't have any background noise. So we would like, be turning the fans on like in between takes. It was like probably almost triple digits in the apartment. Everybody was I'm glad anybody helped me out with it, because it was one of those classic, just like uncomfortable, sweaty shoots. But yeah, if it'd been like one 16, 17 hour day, which we've all done, it's like I think the result would have been different. And I think people would probably have a worse taste in their mouths as far as like working with me again. So I'm glad that we split it up.
That's always good. And you said, and I love both your casts. So Grayson is a friend, and then how'd you cast your female lead, Rhea?
Gosh, I am blanking on. I used a casting website. It's been a while since I've used it, but I did. I've actually gotten lucky. Can't believe I'm blanking on the name of the site, but every time I've used it, I've gotten like hundreds of submissions, and it's just kind of taking the time and going through every one. And Rhea was actually, it was one of those things where Leah couldn't show up. We did callbacks and Leah couldn't show up, or Rhea couldn't, and we did a Zoom thing before Zoom was a thing. And like, even like just the chemistry between her and Grayson, like in the casting, I was like, well, it wasn't really a decision at that point. There were like people that were great, but as far as just clicking, it was a pretty easy thing eventually. Like all the legwork was there. What do they say? It's always the last place you look kind of thing. Well, yeah, you find it, you stop looking, which is what I did.
Excellent. Yeah. And then I guess we already know that after you shot for a day and a half, you spent a long time editing this and working it out and getting it into really great shape.
So yeah, the funny thing about it, I had someone that was going to edit it. That they took a few passes at it, and we couldn't get it to a place that either of us were excited about. And I didn't want to ask them to work for free. So I kind of, got the footage back, waited some time. I thought about the story, did some paper edits, and then like saved up some money, went to another guy. And that kind of the same thing happened through no fault of anybody's own. And I was just like, man, I have to cut it myself. And ultimately, like I've done some smaller stuff in the past as far as editing goes, but like as far as filmmaking, best choice of just learning so far. Cause like I can't imagine how hard like it would have been to shoot the stuff I've shot since if I hadn't like just piecing shots together, seeing how all that all works. Like, man, if you're a director and you haven't edited your own stuff, like I don't know how you're doing it. Like that's impressive to me. But yeah, so that and the scoring was probably we shot it in July 18, and I finished scoring in the final sound design this March. So yeah, so it had a long gestation period for sure.
I bet that also benefited you because, yeah, sometimes people, come to me and they want me to look at something and give them feedback. And sometimes my feedback is just like, don't look at it for a month. Just like, and then come back to it with fresh eyes.
Well, you know what really helped me was the second editor that I found. Like he and I vibed on a creative level, and he was like, honestly, he's like, the best thing advice I can give you is like, save your money, don't use me, and just like make something else. Which, well, it was a hard thing to hear at the time, because it was like at that point I wasn't as proficient with editing. Still a ton of room to grow there, but that was an overwhelming thing to hear as far as like, oh, so I guess this is like dead in the water. And it wasn't until, have you seen Robert Eggers' short film Brothers by chance?
No.
So I don't know. Have you seen The Lighthouse or The Witch or anything like that?
I saw The Witch.
Okay, so that's that director. And to get funding for The Witch, he shot this short film it's like 9-10 minutes. Anyway, there's hardly any dialogue. It's like super moody. You don't get any information. And I saw that like, I don't know, I think late or like early fall last year, and I saw that, and all of a sudden, like I'd almost given up on the project, and I saw that short film, and I was like, oh fuck. Sorry, I don't know if cursing's okay. But it was just like a slap in the face. I was like, oh, I think I know what to do, and I just like that was when I was like absolutely ruthless with it, and if there was any piece of dialogue I could cut, I cut it, and that's when it went from like 12 minutes to down to 5.5, and then it was just like tweaking from there.
Well, I'm really glad you didn't give up, and cursing is totally cool. And,
Okay, I wasn't sure. I didn't know the rules, or I know
I was no rule, and I was going to toss in the fact that, or I heard it attributed to John Ford, which is he said, editing is simple, just cut out the boring stuff.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Any like sort of darling.
And the truth is, you did a great. I mean, it's a great edit, and the story comes out. It's just a pleasure to watch, and again, like I said in the beginning, it's so cool to see someone do sci-fi where it's just completely of the mind and intellectual, just ideas, and stuff we hadn't really fresh stuff. I mean, it's original. So I mean, how often is sci-fi like truly original? So kudos, bravo. Normally when I wrap these up, I make sure that I throw it to you if there's anyone you haven't mentioned yet who helped out who you'd like to mention.
Yeah, I'll just, it's a pretty short list, so I'll just run through it. So obviously I couldn't have done it without my brother Zach and his wife Ann. They're my producerial / EP team, 100%. And then there was my little sister Claire, who unprompted helped me out in a big way, and all just almost made me cry with how she helped me. So that was super grateful to her. And then Rhea Grayson, amazing talent. I hope I get to work with both of them again. And then Leo Core on sound. My sound designer Ferry Gutierrez. Obviously my girlfriend Ellie is she was everything on set. She helped me with the makeup. She was AD, kind of classic rock situation there, as a classic situation of her being a rock, not Led Zeppelin. And then I'm trying to think, is there anybody I'm missing? Said Leo, Barry. Oh, my DP, Marlon Begway. Awesome guy, great behind the camera, really was okay with me touching him and moving him left or right if we needed to get a shot, or whatever weird contortions we had to do to get up at people's faces. So yeah, great team that I worked with. And I think that's, let me do one quick mental check to make sure I don't forget anybody who was there. Yeah, I think that's everybody.
What's funny is you just reminded me, when the first time I watched it, one of my notes was, besides loving it, how great the sound was, for a film, for the one location film, the sound added so much to the mood and everything. And then I saw Leo Core's name, and we showed a film of his.
Really?
2 years ago. He had his senior thesis film was this kick-ass movie called How to Get a Boyfriend.
I actually haven't seen that, but that's awesome. I didn't realize.
You should watch it. You should watch it. It's part of that Amazon series we do. But he and then when I interviewed him about it, and he told me, yeah, I just want to do sound. I'm like, you like,
yeah, as
a director and writer, you kicked ass, and you just focused on sound. Dude, and so when I saw your film, I actually fired off an email to him and said, I just saw a film with your name on. I noticed the sound was fantastic. And then I saw your name, so I wanted to make sure he knew that his work is. So I'm really happy that you got the Leo connection. Was kind of funny for me.
Dude, yeah, Leo is an absolute champ. Great on the day. He practically, I don't know how he does it, but like invisible. He can make himself invisible, so he's not in the shot at all. Just like willing to do whatever. Great suggestions. Like, yeah, Leo was great, and he was actually I found him through Grayson. Uh, so yeah, it was kind of one of those things where it worked out crew wise. It was a really good team, really good team.
Yeah, yeah, and it's just proven by those when on YouTube the silly trailers where they take, you know, a really dramatic movie and then they just use sound and light music
Yeah.
to make it a rom-com. Like you can take the dirtiest movie, you know, the darkest movie of all time and make it seem happy with sound. It's kind of funny, but
Oh yeah, I was. Have you watched Bly Manor at all yet? The just came out on Netflix a couple weeks ago.
no.
The Haunting. I just thought of it because my girlfriend and I, Ellie, were watching it last night, and there's a moment where a little girl basically picks up a little doll, and visually, absolutely nothing is scary going on. It's well lit. It's middle of the day, but there's just like this really intense like string sting going on, just like over and over again. And I was just like, I don't know why I'm feeling like why they want me to feel stressed about this moment. There wasn't anything before or after that indicated that something scary was going to happen. It was just like her holding this doll was like a big warning, and it never paid off. But I'm sure that's down the line. Mike Flanagan's pretty legit, so
Yeah, they're a solid team,
yeah.
that Flanagan team. And yeah, and I've got a 12-year-old who she's obsessed with horror, so we actually watch like 2 horror movies a weekend. But now we're just chatting, so I should probably stop recording.
Sure, yeah.
And great work, Soft Spot. Great film, and please keep making them.
Oh, that's the plan.
All
Thank you for
right,
talking with me.
it was a pleasure, Jerome.
Have a good one.
You too.